Bone Dog with the 12-month tier 1
Hello.
sub. Happy 1-year anniversary, Grant.
I know exactly the candy you're talking about. I just honestly never know how to describe it, quite frankly. I have no idea one way or the other, unfortunately. And I am not fully prepared for this stream. Like, is my hands even working? Cool, the hands are working. Thank you for the 1-bit, bestest boy. I greatly appreciate it. Yes, there are musk-flavored candy. Give me a second. I can get you an image of, like, hang on a sec. Musk. Like, they're called musk sticks. Like, their flavor and aroma is a floral reminiscent of musk perfume. So apparently there was a perfume called musk. So they don't taste like some sort of late stage capitalist South African. They actually taste like something floral. How do I present this image? I don't really have a good way. Damn it, never mind. But yeah, just so you know, it's not that kind of musk. It's a different kind of musk. It's an Australian thing. It tastes really florally. I personally like them. If I can get myself musk sticks, I normally get them. The other musk. There is more than one kind of musk in this world, and it's not just, you know, Elon Musk or Stinky Musk. It's like a floral thingamadiggy. So, and they got like different kinds of flavors as well of like the different fruits, but I'm a personal fave. My personal fave is musk.
Musky Dog has added quote number 418. They don't taste like some late-stage African man.
Thank you. Thank you for immortalizing that in my quotes. All right. I still need to post as many different places as I can, the fact that I am streaming right now. I'm not yet, you know, a big-time streamer. I am just a regular kind of streamer. Gotta make 3D things for fun 3D nonsense. All right, minimize that.
Musky Dog has added
this.
quote number 419. I always go
Cookie
for
for bestest boy. Here's your cookie. Cookie time. Cody Loin and Timberflex. Amazing, amazing. Unfortunately, emotes are not going to get hit by the TTS bot. Sorry. And I'm getting some sort of Sonic the Hedgehog sounds, I'm guessing. Musk sticks are kind of mid.
Dog has added quote number 400.
I'm fine with that. Like they're not an amazing candy or anything like that. They're just you know, whatevers. I love how there's like so many quotes from Bone. The entire like conversation could have been turned into a clip, but instead it gets like 3 different Hey, stop stealing my shirt. You can't be stealing my shirt so soon into the stream. There could be all kinds of people who have never seen me before. Now all of a sudden. So fast. Cookie for bestest boy yet again. Why are my arms... Yes, they will do that. All right, hang on. I need to double check. Like, why are... Settings. General. Thank you for the hyper himbo. Bestest Boy is going absolute crazy. Oh wait, it wasn't Bestest Boy that did that. It was Arandaho. What are you doing, Arandaho? Arm tracking during VSF animation. Yes, please. Hello. 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 Hopefully everything is going all right. You will clip that. Awesome. Clips do so much more for me than quotes do. The quote system is just, oh, here's a fun little thingy-majiggy. And I feel like at some point I might remove the like the whole, you know, a quote getting played via TTS. I'll have it for when a quote gets added, because then that one's like normally a fun little, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that, because it like brings me back into reality of how out of context the quote is.
Australia is not an element.
Yeah, but then for when people do requests for quotes, I might stop having that happen instead, just leaving it to being a text dropped in there. If people met you shirtless, they might see you big too. Yes, that will regularly happen way too many times. Anytime my shirt gets stolen, there's a very good chance that I will get hyper himboed and such, and it's an absolute like crazy time. Yes, this is big. Bestest boy, this is big right now. This is the ridiculousness I have to deal with. Oh, they must see me big. Oh, that's what you wanted to say, must. Alrighty then. I need to open Blender. I need to get my shit sorted. I didn't finish work until 5 p.m. today, and I tried running to the train station. Didn't get to the train that would have gotten me here like, you know, 15 or 20 minutes ahead of time. I instead had to deal with a train that only got me here like 10 minutes. Like it got me 10 minutes into my suburb, and then I basically sprinted to get to my property, and it's like 6 minutes. Yeah, I would say it's about 6 minutes to get from the train station to like the building, and Oh my goodness. I probably shouldn't explain so much about my route, because then otherwise people might be trying to like reverse engineer of, yes, he once mentioned this suburb was where he was before, and now that he has given me like a time of like where he like had to walk or something like that, we can then estimate that he's approximately this far away from these train stations, giving us these approximate properties to choose from, and we know he lives in this kind of property instead, rather than these ones, which narrows it down even further. It will be... What am I listening to? What is this song? Hello there. Hi, thank you for the 1 bits again. Oh my god, I can barely think when I'm just being like, when there's lyrics in the song and I'm trying to get my thoughts. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna get myself a water. Oh, I'm gonna, yeah. Let me get some water. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to think with lyrics. Like, how can I have a conversation with these when I can't even like get a single thought across? Because here's the thing is, I like this artist, personally speaking. Like, he's done Red Flag, Mixed Signals, and then he's done one for Lord of the Rings where it's like, walk, 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 walk. Go in, steal some carrots, walk, 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 walk. What is... This is such a weird song. Why am I... Who recommend that boy? It was that boy who decided to recommend this in the previous stream. I'm gonna need more like thingamadiggies in the playlist because I'm pretty sure I'm about to like run out. Yes, I did. We are now on to like my like, instead of the primary, you now have to deal with these beats for about, because I think I made these like a very, like, these go like very far. Also, I should have my shirt back by now. Why do I not have my shirt back? Settings. Where's my timed actions? Oh. Oh, I forgot to turn back on the I forgot to turn on something. Hang on a second. Give me a sec. I now need to do a thing. Node graph. It's good that you guys are here for... All right, so shirt on. There we go. So, yeah, because it was the default. All right, cool. Now I got my shirt back on. It's great. Let me see. Is there... So, how long is this first song? It's like... Okay, so that's 20... I've put in like 20-minute long songs and such like that. So, these are going to take a while. I should probably have tried to pick like much shorter songs, like a minute or two, rather than like full-on playlist in like a song thingamajiggy. So then that way, when someone did decide to put in a song into the primary playlist, there would be a chance for, you know, it to pop up relatively quickly. So far, that boy is the only one who has added a song. I need more song requests. We'll have this like play out for like the next 20 minutes or so. So then that way, hopefully there'll be like more peeps being able to bring in. I'm not going to argue with more shirtless time. I will argue with more shirtless time. I can't be shirtless the entire time. Like maybe if I was on my like my nipless fashion, that would be okay. Ooh, maybe I should see if I can try and make it so that there's like a nippleless like a nipple redeem or something like that. So then that way, like if my shirt does get taken off, it isn't always the one with the nipples. That way it's less embarrassing. And I just make the ones with the nipples even more expensive. Like, you know, tens of thousands of points, like, you know, the same amount of points you'd need for the maid outfit. So you'd have to decide between, you know, maid outfit or no nipples. That might be something, because I've recently done the VTuber thingamadiggy into one one avatar file. So swapping from the maid outfit to this classic outfit here is no longer a case of, you know, loading in a different avatar entirely. It's instead turning off some of the shirts and turning some. Oh, hello. Hi, Aito. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Raid. Hey, how's it going? Welcome everyone to the stream. My name is Grant. I am a variety himbo streamer.
Quote number 421. My personal fav is Musk.
I've already said that, Bone. That quote is going to get deleted. You have already entered in that quote. Wait, hang on a sec. Nope. Actually, it is technically slightly different. You have put in late stage African man. You technically didn't do that one correctly. All right, well, that's going to be a weird one. But yeah, welcome to the stream, everyone. My name is Grant. I'm a variety streamer in Australia, same as Atto. I go through like a variety of games and such like that. And for tonight, Wednesday nights, I should really move to the stage. Ding. In Wednesday nights, I decide to try and do some stuff in Blender. I try and do some 3D nonsense. How is it going, Aito? Hopefully I'm saying your name right. I meant to put in that 3 codes. But yeah, how was your stream? How was Baldur's Gate 3? Ain't too bad. It ain't too bad. Excellent. I am planning of trying to get through Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Oh my goodness. Hi, another raid. Hello. I need to zoom in. Where's my buttons for zooming in? No, don't tell me to do squats. Zooming in. There we go. Hi, welcome everyone. Moosey stream. Welcome to the stream. You came in just after Aito TV. Welcome to the stream, everyone. My name is Grant. For most of Ato's people, they're probably going to already hear this, but for anyone that was in Biff the Moose's stream, my name is Grant. I am a variety himbo streamer, as you can see by my shirt here, spelt YIWPO. I am a variety himbo streamer, and I am doing Blender shit. I'm going to try and make some stuff in Blender. There's a few ideas that I have, but before I do any of those, hey, no, Bone, do not steal my shirt to the new people. They may not be ready for the cookie. Where's the cookie? Cookie. Oh, sorry, that boy, your cookie is gone because I'm trying to like cover my nips. Welcome to the raid. How was the witness? Don't stare. Don't stare. All right, I'm gonna have to try and hide behind this boulder for intro fighters, and I also have to do who stole my cookie? Bone. Bone stole your cookie. They stole my shirt, revealing my nipples, and now they're forcing me to do squats. So I'm gonna have to try and do these squats as best as I can. It is absolute mayhem in my stream. We're not even half an hour in. Also, for the peeps who have only just got in, song requests are available to submit. Right now, we're just got, like, for the next however many minutes in it, we've got, like, some calm music in the background because that's from my secondary playlist, but would love to see what people recommend I listen to while trying to do some 3D nonsense. I've only got one song submitted into the song list so far. I need more songs. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I do these IRL. I need to get strong. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Thank you for the 20 squats. Thank you for the 20 squats, and thank you for the song requests. As Sky, that will be added to our list. We need to get you FBT. So we know what's FBT? Oh, do you mean full body tracking? Is that what you mean? The full body stuff? That would be nice. I do have on my throne like a number of things, and I think I do have like a VR tracker, like an additional an additional HTC VR tracker on there. So that's going to be like pretty cool if people contribute to that, because then that way, because because right now I have like a Valve Index, so that's really cool. That took me years to get. My goodness, out of breath. How do we know you're not just sitting and counting, eh? Oh, Dark Raven. You've not been here for the earlier controversies. I've had people critique my squats. I've also done squats in VR because I was in like Phasmophobia. So fun fact, a while ago, Avalon Haas is probably one of the few people who's seen my, hi there, Bun Bun, the Royal Bunny. Avalon Haas is probably one of the few people outside of Furdu who has seen me like an IRL of me and this was all to demonstrate like, oh, this is how I'm doing my squats. And I go for the deep squats as well. I'm not doing like these like,
paid me to say I will steal his femur if he doesn't actually do them. That
as well. Bone threatens to steal my femur if I don't do the squats for him. There have been times that I've not done squats, and that's because either I have been super sick and I didn't want to do them whatsoever, or my leg or back felt funky and I didn't want to risk it. Because as much as I would love to be in pain for the viewers, and the viewers would love to pay me to be in pain, I have to... Ooh! Cookie for Bone Mass Dog. Here you go. This would have been for that boy, no doubt, but then you went and gone and stole his cookie. Oh my gosh, what is that low Roy? That's fine. All right, we need to have so Cookie for Bun Bun, the royal bun. All right. First thing we're gonna make. Also, I forgot to do this. Where's my thingy-majiggy? Thank you for platform, channel point, redeem, save your work. I need to enable the save your work, so then that way, when I'm in the middle of doing my biz, like if I'm busy and I'm like really deep into it, you guys can like hit the save your work redeem.
Save your work.
And then I'll have like a nice little voice thingy-majiggy tell me, hey, save your work. So that'll be nice. Clips, quotes, nips, and femurs. What a lovely day it is. What a lovely evening. And after I like basically had to run to get back into my place so I can start the stream on time, I've started going to work at I've started doing the 9 to 5 shift for work. I've had to do that last week, which wasn't too big of an issue because, I wasn't streaming that week, but I have to do it this week as well. And I was hoping it wasn't going to be too big of an issue trying to do like the 9 to 5, but also still wanting to stream at like 6 p.m. I have now learned my lesson. I probably can't stick around at work till 5 in order to try and get here in time, like without being super exhausted and sweaty right now. Also, sorry, Sky, there's a 3 request limit. What a lovely way to wake up. Yes. All right. What's the first thing I am going to make? Let's start off easy. Because I want to make some stuff that people can throw at me, is the idea. So I am going to go and I'm going to create, let's see. So this will be a meter long, and this will be like absolutely like thin. We're going to start something easy. We're going to start with a metal pipe, which is going to be...
Bone Musky Dog paid me to say femurs.
Femurs. No, we're not making a femur. We're going to make a metal pipe. All right, and then we're going to take that down to like... Eight should be good. because then that's like that. And then edit. And then, so we're going to go ding. We're going to insert a face. Oh, wait, hang on. I need a... thickness of 1 centimeter, I'd say. Now, there's a trick to this, to like collapse these so they bridge. I think it's create a bridge of faces between 2 of the selected edge loops. There we go. All right, now we've got ourselves, hopefully this is in the correct orientation as well. We now have ourselves a pipe. And let's see, if I shade this smooth. All right, we're going to need to ding and ding. We're gonna need to do a edge crease. This is so then that way it... Huh, weird. Oh, because I didn't shade smooth... What? Why didn't that do what I wanted it to do? Cylinder, normals, shade, auto smooth. Oh my gosh, how... Shade flat, just give me a sec. Auto smooth. Maximum angle between face normals that will be considered as smooth. Unused if custom... $90, hang on. Shade autos. Why is it? Oh, is it because I can't have like the outer stuff? Like, is that what I need to do? Damn, this is when I need my internet friend. Alright, so if I shade No, I need... Oh, wait, I can mark these for sharp. So then... hopefully that way then. Excuse me, nose. I'm running with... Where is Furry Cures? He would have laughed at that. I don't know. Furry Cures, I think, has just been, like, a little bit tired. Like, because I'm streaming right now at, like, 1 in the morning or 4 in the morning for a lot of Americans. So the only Americans that are here right now are, like, you know, probably crazy sort of night owls or something or rather. All right, let's go with 0.25. Increase the metallic. So then that way it's like that. Roughness will be like 0.9. Maybe I need to do a hang on a second. Let's try a subdivision surface. Ooh, hang on. No. Advanced. Use UV, keep limits, boundary. Oh, that's why I want creases. Okay, hang on a second. And then all right. There we go. So that's like a super smooth pipe right now. And what we'll do is we'll make it that, and then we'll call this metal pipe. And what we need to do next is in the shading properties, we're going to make an image texture. It's going to be a new image texture, and we're going to call it metal pipe dot. I think what we want is a normal. Because what we want is we want to make it like super. Where's the queue for the song requests? They're stuck in limbo while we're listening to a little more of the thingy-majiggy, but let's see what happens if I do this. There we go. Now we're getting started in the song requests. Twitch objects. Alrighty. We need to be in cycles. Yeah, I think we can get away with the CPU. And bake. We need to bake the normal, I want to say. Tangent. Select it to active. Oh, I probably need to, hang on a second, UV editing. Yeah, because as you can see here, it doesn't do it, like, well. I'm guessing... What is this guy's name again? Tom Cardy. Yeah, he's a very, like, it's in the same vein as I feel like Weird Al Yankovic kind of stuff, where it's like, it's just funny to listen to. Awesome, we got something to listen to. Alrighty, let's try this bake this time. Hopefully this one won't be as problematic. Alright, image save. Textures, metal pipe.normal. Save. It is a none color. Shift A. I think it's normal map that I want. Yeah, it's what normal map. We go into that, and then we go into normal. And now, if I Not exactly doing what I want. Oh, that's why, because he's still got the subdivision shit. All right. And hopefully he doesn't have the auto smoothing nonsense. Yeah, he doesn't have the auto smoothing nonsense. .5. How do I make silver in this thing? Blender silver. All right, we're gonna go with a video. You need to give your bake a little extrusion. Fair E nufsies. Back over to cycles. Extrusion. Is it a problem if so here's what I'm trying to do, internet fan, is I have this cylinder here which has a subsurface modifier on it, so then that way it's like extra smooth. Like I know there's a shade, shade smooth like when you right click it and such, but it didn't look like smooth enough when it's like doing the auto shade thingy-majiggy. So what I did is I used the subdivision. Hang on a sec. So, dink. So we have this thing, which is using the subdivision modifier. As far as no, it doesn't have any it doesn't have the shade smooth or auto smoothing or anything like that. But also, yeah, lovely cycles. Basically, I grabbed this again, duplicated it, so we now have this metal pipe here. And the idea is that rather than having like a really high poly count for creating a smooth pipe, I want to try and bake the detail, I want to try and bake the high poly smoothness and such onto this low poly. And I thought that what I'll need, and hopefully you'll be right, where I just needed to, create the excursion thing. And I'm hoping that what I need to bake is the normal from Hans. Hello. Thank you, Hans, for being... There we go. So I'm hoping that by baking the normal in, that... Also, I extruded it... I'm going to make it 0.01 because this is a bit of a narrow pipe. All right, let's bake this. There we go. That's a better thing to... Actually, you know what? I can probably just join. There we go. So this is... So that's what it looks like now. The normal is how you copy shading like that. Yes. Okay, cool. So that's... So if I want to make something smooth, it's getting high poly. Once again, it probably doesn't like me baking. There we go. All right, cool. So I am doing it the right way. Nice. All right, so if I now hide this cylinder, I need to save this actually. So save. And now I need to come up with
To add gold, silver, and bronze shaders in Eevee.
Blender
As always, it's going to be
cycles
quick and easy.
silver.
So, let's get started.
In this tutorial, we will learn about an easy method to create metals. The monkey for this Fires tab, or made tab BSD. To fine-tune this color, switch over to the hex tab. You can type the exact hex color code for gold, which is.
You can almost certainly accomplish smooth shading on a simple pipe with just a few control edge loops on the ends, adding only a few polys and saving you having to use the normal map. Okay, so we have this pipe here. Also, it's only like got 8 sides. So this is what it looks like right now. It's very minimal. Also, this is like to scale because this is like meter tall and that's it. Control edge loops. Hang on. A few loops on the edges. So, oops. Accomplish smooth shade. Shade auto smooth. Control R. A few loops on the edges. Wait, on these edges or this edge? Like, not this edge. You're talking about like this edge here. Has this... I'm looking at this Pepe, like intro thingy-majiggy. This song sounds familiar. Not the long way. Cool. Awesome. All right. So put you up there. Negative 0.999. And then... .999. So like that. Is it on the inside? Wait, hang on. This was probably one of the problems of having the edge loose like so close to the apps. This was probably one of the issues of having the edge loop like so close to the edge. Is like now it's a case of 0.999. You don't need to be insanely close like that. Yeah, I probably didn't need to. Actually, ow, what the fuck? Hang on. Edge loop. All right, Control R. I wonder if... All right, so Vector will do that. Smoothness will do that. There must be a flipped. Nope. Nah, it looks like I'll just have to... Negative 0.9. And then... 0.9. Is there a way? Hang on. So 0.5 is at the top. So we want... Yeah, this one's... Alright, so negative 0.45. There we go. That I'm a fan of symmetry. This one has some smoothness to it. The previous song I personally like a little bit more, but the reason for that is just because sometimes like my brain is finally like picking up on some of the lyrics that are being said, and there is like probably one or two lyrics that I'm just sort of like, oof, don't know how I feel about that. Thankfully, none of the music that gets played is going to end up on the VOD, so
Thank you,
it isn't going to be
Avalon
like...
Hoss, for reminding Grant to save his work.
Add a weighted normal modifier, and you'll get a little bit of roundness on the edges. A weighted normals modifier. Hi there, Avalon. All right, hang on. Save. Weighted normals. What the? Never heard of that before. Weighted normal.
Hello.
Modify the direction of the surface normal using a weighted method. Weighted mode face area? Huh. 50 is neutral. Lower values increases the weight of weak faces. Higher values increase the weight of strong. Never heard of this. This is all so new to me. Like, what? Does it matter that I don't have the edge loops on the inside? Probably not. This thing is only like a meter tall. Just adjust the distance of those edge loops you've made. All right, let's try 0.49. Negative point. Thank you, Rusted Claw. Thank you for telling me what the government knows. Having your phone number sold to third parties by your country's national mail carrier. So Oh, Avalon. You have not heard what Australia had happened to them a few months ago. This might have happened last year or the year before, to be real with you, so it might be very old news, but one of our biggest operators in health insurance, like Medibank or maybe it was Optus themselves. It was either Medibank or Optus themselves. There was a huge data leak. Everyone's mobile phone number was leaked and such. So many people had their mobile phones, their, home address and all this kind of such revealed to the interwebs. And there was just this new age of getting all of these random fucking text messages from spammers trying to get you to click their sus links, being like, oh no, there's a package that has not made it to your home. Click the link for tracking. Or, oh no, there's a package that requires you to pay to get it released. It's like, God damn you. All right, so we got that there. Lol. issue is I do have a package stuck somewhere like 2 years now. Oh no, that's not good. All right, hang on a sec. Hang on. Don't. 0.49. Negative 0.49. There we go. There we go. A pipe. Or what's the painting called? What's the French painting called where it's basically translates to "this is not a pipe"? Hang on, I need to share you an image. This is not a pipe. This is a pipe. I need to show you a meme. Where is it? It's God, you'd think it. Hang on. Maybe I need to be more precise. Crocodile Dundee. Crocodile Dundee. This is a pipe. Where is it? There's an image where it's basically this. It's this French thingy-majiggy saying, "That's not a pipe," and you see him, and he's holding like a fucking like massive ass pipe, and he's saying, and it's just the subtitles are in French as well, where it translates to "This is a knife. This is a pipe." I wish I had this image. Where the fuck is it? Oh yes, no. This music. Hang on. Where's Crocodile done on the new no meme chip? Where the fuck is it? This is no, that's a pipe. It's very important. It's not this image. That image is dumb. That image does not do it justice. He's holding like a giant ass. Hold on, Crocodile. That's not a pipe. Maybe I need to put it in French? Alright, Ceci ne est pas une pipe. Wait, there it is! There it is! There's the pipe! There's the... I found it! I found the fucking pipe! This. This a pipe. That's a pipe. Oh, you sent me something on Telegram? Hang on, maybe this is it. Maybe you... Yes! Yes! Damn it, Avalon, you found it. That's not a pipe. It's Siesta pipe. Actually, I wonder what happens. Say, will the English one speak French?
Say une pipe.
Say un pipe. Excellent. All right. Okay, now I need to learn how to make the pipe like silver.
FFC 125 rendered view mode. In our C drop rating. Properties also change this roughness value to 0.2. Then expand it, value, and you can dining it after listed will input and that color code for silver, which is C0Z0C0.
Awesome, cool, Coco. All right, excellent. I can fix this. All right, hex code Coco. There we go. Lower this down to like 0.25. Okay, maybe not that. 0.4. There we go. That's a nice roughness to it. In French, pipe is peep. C'est un pipe. Siestun peep. Siestun peep. I probably butchered that French. There's probably next you need an LED pipe. Hi there, Morris. Welcome to the stream. Siestun peep. Okay. Siestun peep. Siestun peep. Did I say that correctly? Did I do Siestun peep correctly? Welcome to the stream. I'm making a pipe. Amazingly enough, I'm putting so much effort into this goddamn pipe. And the reason I'm putting so much effort into this pipe is so then that way, metal pipe noise. It's so then that way I can do, I can make that pipe a throwable thingy-majiggy and then just drop. Hopefully this isn't going to be, okay, brace yourselves, headphone users. Pipe. All right. So back into shading. I probably don't need that normal anymore then. Ooh. Oh. Oh, I have an idea. Hang on. All right. Faces? All right, hang on. Spin. Okay, how do I want to do like an easy like screw thingy madiggy. Don't make me speak French. I hate it. Of course, you're Scottish. You hate the French. Everyone from the UK hates the French. Okay, so that's not what I want. Actually, maybe that is what I want. 0.1. 0.1. Zero. How do I do the screwy thing? Hang on. Blender, twist screw. How to use the screw modifier. No, I wanted, like, threads. How to model threaded objects. Here we go.
Threaded surfaces, such as screw cap. File, such as this.
Oh.
However, a gradually is from the later. This calculator can be found at threaded screw cap.
Thank
Select
you, Morse
graphical
Amalgam,
surface,
for
wing
reminding
number
Grant
verts,
to save
0.
his work.
Type. Press New. Paste the script from the clipboard. Press Run Script. Press Tab to enter the edit mode. Press Remove Doubles in the Tools tab.
I haven't really done that much, Morse. I hope you realize that. The English hate the French. You don't mind them. You got a French godmother after all. Fair enough. All right. I just thought it was like a meme that I just thought it was a meme that, you know, everyone hated the French. The British hated the French. The Irish hated the French. The Welsh hated the French. The Scottish hated. I thought everyone hated the French. Like they were just in the middle of Europe, ruining everyone. The British have beef with everyone. The British have beef with British. They can't decide. There's a north and south of Britain, and it pisses me off. Someone showed me a map of this, and it's not a clear-cut line through England. It's not like oh, here's a horizontal line dividing like north like England and South England. It's like this weird like I need to find the map. Hang on a second. Map England divide South and North. It pisses me off. Where is it? Like, oh, I need to allow that. Sorry. I hate the French for giving the word French cars. Alright, I accept. Where is it? There's like all this debate. Like, alright, here it is. Open image and new tab. Here it is. Let me zoom out. This is the line. It's like this weird, like, Jesus, like, why? Why isn't it just like why isn't it like, you know, say here where it's just like, oh, Newcastle, like just below Newcastle or something, where you just do it like a, boom, like that. Have you seen the U.S. state lines? We don't talk about the states, okay? The South is like, hang on a second, maybe. Now you got me curious. Hang on. U.S. Union versus Confederate map. That's easy! Look how horizontal that is! Like, this was back when we didn't even have, like, all the fucking, like, see how, like, very, like, it's so close to being horizontal. And then Texas. Like, for some reason, like, that territory there, the weird, like, behind the chef's pants, Arkansas, you have that territory there. And then it's like, easy. All right, enough about fucking maps. Hang on a sec. I was learning how to try and make a screw, but I didn't want to have to like go out of my thingy-majiggy and hang on a sec. Blender screw on pipe. You know what? Someone's probably have done the secret. Making pipes in 30 seconds. That's close. Create threaded detail. Maybe that will be it. The right way to do the screw modifier. Actually, let's... Alright, let's have a look.
To make the model, you need to add a cylinder, so Shift A and then add a cylinder. And we will go with the 24 words like this. After that, you need to add one cube, one edge, corner edge, and then Control I to just adjust the scale. Give it the at the box. Adjust the value of per the size of, and step viewport should be 24. And then you need to apply word.
Nah, that's too much work.
That's
Fuck
why
it.
the step.
I thought it was going to be something simple to put the screw on the end of the pipe, but apparently there isn't. I'm just gonna be fine with my pipe being, you know, just straight-faced here, alright? I thought there would be, like, an easy way to, like, I don't know, maybe extrude it or something and then do it like a thingy where it'd just be like, but there isn't. Extrude selected vertices in a circle around the cursor and indicated, yeah. Like, would it be nice if it was, like, within the thing, but it ain't. Lol. Excuse me, nose. That's like 5 straight lines. it would add like 80 times the complexity to the model. Yeah, exactly. Like this model only has how many thingamajiggies does it have? It has 64 faces. This pipe is about as efficient as the Nintendo 64 logo. Look at it. 64 faces, 64 vertices. It is perfect. All right. File, say, file, export, FBX, selected object, metal pipe. Apply transformation. Yeah, let's FBX into the downloads. Let's open up Unity. Let's see what this pipe looks like in Unity. Hopefully it's still smooth. Also, can I get a shout out for Morse, please? They're a lot cooler of like a 3D like end programmer kind of perp. I've not made a lot of Vignon or VTuber Plus objects, and I kind of want to fix that. I want to make more. Also, I can add in like this giant like pipe 64. Doubt. No, don't doubt. Don't doubt yourself. Do I not have any? Hang on. There we go. I shouted you out myself. Get wrecked. See? Look at that. Oh, it says game dev. All right. But you were last playing Summer Catchers. How was that? Busy. Excuse it while it's busy. Busy, busy, busy. Busy boy. Interesting game, a little bit grindy. Nah, I get you. Alrighty. So those are all my different import. Those are my textures. User items. Oh, it's because it's all there. All right. A new Fusion avert. No, skip. Alrighty, let's see how this. Let's see how this pipe looks. So there's our pipe. Hopefully I selected this pipe. Another raid? Hi! Trumpet Collins! Hello! Hi, everyone! Hello, welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing all right. Hi, it's me and Trumpet. Hi, Benru, welcome to the stream. Hi, welcome to the stream. I've made a metal pipe in, where is it? Where the fuck is my blender? Here it is. I've made this metal pipe, and I'm gonna put it into Unity and see if I can make it like a throwable or droppable object. You got all the shrines and light roots in Tears of the Kingdom. Hey, nice work. You've gone a lot farther into Tears of the Kingdom than I have now, because I finished the game and then I was like, cool, done. Don't need a 100% it in any of that nonsense. Alrighty. All right, let's see. How does this pipe look? Pipe. All right, here's what we probably will do. Awesome. It's like so fucking small. All right, so the Cactar has, so it's got a capsule collider, a rigid body, and an audio source. All right, so I need to add in, so a rigid body. I can probably just, yeah, same as that thingamadiggy. And then a collider. And probably just make it a capsule collider that is the same size as... Oh, wow. It like almost perfectly got... All right. 1.105. There we go. 1.05 with a radius of what the? Oh, 0.05. 0.05. There we go. Look at that. Is that not like the most perfect fucking collider? Now you gotta get all the armors and you're getting all the Koroks. You're not getting all the Koroks because fuck that. Yeah, look, I don't know why everyone got traumatized on like the whole getting all the Koroks, because as I have learned, you don't need to do like all the... You didn't need to do all the temple thingamajiggies in Breath of the Wild to get to the end of Breath of the Wild. So why, with that information, did everyone start getting all the Korok seeds as if that was going to give them something awesome? You got literally poop. It looked... I saw the image. I saw what the guy gives you at the end, and it looks like a weird poop Korok thing. Any whoosies. Let's see. I need to add in an audio source and a Vignon something or other. All right, so audio source. And did I save the audio file? No, I did not. One moment, please. Headphones check. No one expects that. Saved link content at... Oh, nope, cool, it is in my downloads now. Awesome. Alright. Alright, there's the metal pipe sound. And we're gonna drop it into this audio source. Not on Wake. It has to be on... Oh, it is on Wake. Okay. I thought it was on Collision. I guess it's on Wake then. On Wake, and then... So we got the rigid body, and now we need to add Vignon. Alright, so we've got edible, injectable, throwable object. It needs to be droppable. There we go. Collision particle prefab. I have not put anything. I have not done like a sound for it to break. Influenza B isn't fun. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope you get better, Trumpet Collins. I had to deal with a cold last week. It was really great that I didn't have to do streaming that time, but I hope you get better. All right. Vignon SDK, export droppable. Hi there, Wolf Nard. How's it going? I am making some fun droppable shit. Let me have a look. Where do I need it? Twitch resources. Or no, it's on my C drive. Twitch programs, Vignon, items, droppables, metal pipe. All right. So it's exporting that somewhere else. This is going to be good, chat. It's going to figure out how I'm going to get back to coding. Oh, okay. That'll be fun. I hope you do well with that. Do you have any ideas? Droppable collision sound is assigned, but its value is never used. Wait, what? The field droppable object dot collision sound. What do you mean? Droppable object dot collision sound. Arrow damage. Stab. Traffic. Like, what are you on about? Oh, because... Throwable, drop. All right. Defaults. Ding. Settings, general, miscellaneous. Reload items. And now, so drop something. I'm gonna duplicate this just so then that way I can That way I can do just the metal pipe. Let's give this a try. It just went straight down, just bonk. Okay, hang on. Okay, I can do transformation shit. All right. We are going to rotate this 90. We're going to rotate this 90 degrees. And then we're going to export this droppable again. Metal pipe. Yep. Hopefully that wasn't too... How are you liking Vignon? You haven't messed with it, but you want to. I'm still on the fence. There's some stuff that I like about it, such as the fact that you can do like all these extra like thingy-majiggies here. What I don't like too much about it is it's doing so much, and it's all in this fucking like node system, and there's no way of collapsing this. There's no way of grouping all this nonsense. If you want to do like a death cam, you have to do like so many extra nonsense, when I really feel like they should have just had it like all the way out here on camera. They should have just had a toggle where it's like, oh, follow the character's hips or something like that. But they don't do that. Instead, you have to like make this convoluted like you have to do like all this empty object nonsense on your character, and then additional stuff in the world. Like there's all this extra stuff just to make a camera that's gonna track to you when you go ragdoll, which I really wish it wasn't that, because in VTuber Plus, it's none of that stuff. It's literally a check mark of, oh, if you ragdoll, do you want a camera to focus on you? And you go, yes. This is sounding really familiar. Yeah. So, all right, back to the defaults. General, that thing should be done now. So back to Vignon, reload assets. And, all right, let's see. Hang on a sec. Let me. Oh boy. Will it? Okay, cool, it will. All right, awesome. So if I zoom out... doesn't exactly do it how I want it to do. Oh, wait, what's this? Hope you have a good... You gonna rest? 6-hour stream took a lot of energy. Oh, that sounds like a lot of energy. Good luck in your sleep. Hope you get better, Trumpet Collins. Thank you so much for rating in. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any song recommendations, drop them in with the song request. All right. I can now have a random metal, and it's not too loud, is it? I probably should have double checked that. The metal pipe isn't like super loud, is it? Nah, it looks like it's thankfully not too... Maybe it's a bit loud, but it's not much louder than your mic. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I have it on my streamer bot where once I start talking, there's a... Like, there's a limiter, so it doesn't go louder than something else. Actually, what I should probably... Because right now, the limiter is just at -10. Maybe I need to go even further, like... No, actually, -10 should be all right, and I should really just adjust the independent volume here. Let's see. So, priority, 128, volume. All right. Let's go for 0.5. I feel like that should be an all right sort of export droppable. Export. Yes. Droppable exported. Okay. General reload. That's not good. I just need to wait for everything to despawn now. Oh, now all the sounds are like picking up. All right. Drop item. Channel point redeem. Metal pipe. It's hitting -15. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog as I get hit by a metal bat. Ha. I don't know if it's... Jackdaws love my big sphinx of quartz. Huh. Interesting. But yeah, I'd set it to like 0.5. That... I wonder, maybe if volume doesn't get affected from... Maybe this volume doesn't affect how Vignon does it. Unless the thing is just loud, full stop. Like, if I change the volume to, like, 0.5 here. Nope, it does it there. Okay. Ha. Ha. Huh? 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 Alright. 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 Alright, let's see. Is there a way for me to... Ooh, quality. Lol. So if I lower the quality... Sir, sample rate, compression, Vorbis, decompressal. Okay, maybe I just need to... Hang on a sec. Show in Explorer. And I need to now open with... Can I open this with Audacity? Do I have Audacity? Yeah, I do. Awesome. I'll just open it in Audacity and just customize the volume there. So that's it there. And we just need to... Actually, just so I have a comparison. Alrighty then. -10 then. -15. This is a great wake-up call for anyone that is like... Oh, are we back on the, Yeah, we're back on the... We're back on the my playlist of just long ass like chill tunes for the next 20 to 30 minutes. Sorry, chat. Yeah, I reckon that should be enough there. Format, wave color, file, export. Export as MP3. Save. Do you wish to replace it? Yes. Okay. Replace the file. Yep, that's a lot better. All right. Apply. And then we can put this back to 1. Vignon, export droppable. That way, the metal pipe is still being comedic metal pipe, but it's not being like super... I was trying to come up with music, but wasn't sure what sort of stuff you dig. I am glad that some people are considering. Hang on, let me zoom back in. Nope, wrong button. I am glad that some people are considering, like, oh, what kind of music might I like to listen to? But because considering the last time I streamed Blender, I got hit with Simlish. So many songs in Simlish and all this like random ass like meme shit, and I was like, I can barely concentrate, and I was like, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm going insane, and people just lapped up that nonsense. Just me being annoyed that I couldn't listen to Firework from Katy Perry properly, or no, maybe it is Fireworks from Katy. No, not Fireworks. What's the one where it's like, 'cause you're hot and you're cold. No, it's not that one. It's it's what's the song? Something about Friday. It's not Friday, getting down on Friday. It's not that. Something else. Any hoosies. General settings, reload thingy-madiggies. Delete that. Delete that. Yep, metal pipe can be dropped. Will be that. And then delete. Do I look like I know what a Katy Perry is? All I have is a picture of a gosh dang. Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog. Hi there, furry cures. Welcome to the stream. I have made a metal pipe. In the last hour and a half, I put time and I made a metal pipe. Now we're done with the metal pipe and we're going to move on to the next thingy-madiggies. We're going to make a coffee mug. We're going to... Don't care about first at the moment. You're on vacation. Hey, nice work on being on vacation. Bone Mask missed you. Bone Mask Dog missed you so much, Furry Cures. They were distraught. They were so absolutely distraught that you were not there with them. They were heartbroken, and now they're not here. Alrighty. How tall is a mug? Like, is... What are the dimensions of a mug? Dimensions mug. Here we go. Excellent. All right. So a mug is normally 9 centimeters tall by 8 centimeters wide. All right. So 0.09, 0.08. So about... That feels a bit too wide. Hang on. You won't let... Even though I'm on vacation, I won't let this have me dictate my vacation. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Look, if you're gonna have a vacation, get a vacation. Do not, like, don't feel any obligation to come into streams and, you know, keep to like a Mammoth Hill or something like that. There is no necessity for that. Yeah, 9 centimeters by... Oh! Oh! It's not a diameter, it's a radius. This needs to be smaller. This needs to be 0.5. 0.05. There we go. That's more appropriate. And we're gonna make it We can probably put a little more detail in the mug. Because last time I had it like as sort of 8. But I think we'll go with 10. That way we have like a side. And then... Alright, here's what's gonna happen. Alright, so we're gonna go into edit mode. And like that. Alright, we're gonna insert a face. .004. And then wait, how did I do the bevel? Control B. There we go. I see what I've done wrong. Hang on. Control B. No, I need it going the other way. Unless shape. Nope. Oh, Jesus. Actually, maybe I can... Actually, that might be a better idea of the mug. So rather than having like a little thingy... No, that's not how mugs work. That's not how mugs work. Alright, so we're gonna go... .003. And then we're gonna go I again. .001. And we're going to up the depth. So then that way it has like this little thingy-majiggy underneath it. Yep, cool. So yeah, because once this gets smooth, then this is going to be cool. All right, so... Marcus Sharp. Marcus Sharp. .005. And then extrude on the Z. -0.9. Oh, negative 0.09. Yep, cool. That way it's like, you know, got some mug right there. Is it orientated the right way? Yes, it is. Awesome. All right, now I need to make a handle. How the fuck do I do that? I don't want to like just throw a torus in there. Path? No. Invert. Ooh. I have an idea. Mesh, snap, cursor to selected. Get ready to see this shit. Hey, look at that! Oh! Yes! All right, and then we can like reduce the number of steps as well. And what we can probably do is actually... Okay, no, hang on. Fuck that noise. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna... All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're going to go back over to Edge, and we're gonna edge slide this so it's amazing. All right. Because what we want is actually no. Hang on. Before we do any of those kinds of edits, so from the bottom here, we move this up until negative 0.5, and then on this one here, 0.5. So then that way, and then nope, still needs to be edge. Okay. Wait, why is it? It's not what I want. Because I want to make this like... So yeah, because if I do this like... If I do it like this right now, then it's... Yeah, that's like too small. $180. Ooh. Maybe I should have listened to Morse Amalgam and gone with Taurus and then just slapped it in there instead of doing all this shit. What did I just do? All right, hang on. Dun 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 dun. Bum 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 bum. There we go. All right. Taurus. I don't need it that big. 0.1. Why is it so fucking huge? All right, so if we do it at a 90-degree angle, and then just make it this thing. Just make it like just 4. No. 10 should be. All right, so it needs to be at least 12. 8. 4. All right, so it needs to be a divisible of 4. 16 would be extra smooth, but I reckon we can get away with 12. And then I reckon 5. That should be good. And then we should be able to get rid of half of this thing, so then that way it's not a bother. All right. Yeah, all right. Okay, so select Inverts. No, I don't want to select all. God damn it. All right. Mark as a seam. Grab in here. Control L. Only within the seam. Delete the faces. That way, we only have this half here. Oh, I'm doing so well. Now. Mug. Yep, mug. I can probably leave it as this. I don't know if my hand would fit in this, though. Like, given the... Actually, you know what we can probably do? We can... Alright, hang on. Object safe. I need a hand. Hang on a second. 3D hand. Hand. Alright, this hand better be to scale. Hang on, I need to... One moment. Grab 4D hand. Amazing that they don't just have like, oh, here's a meta rig just at the ready. So yeah, because I just need one that's like relatively close to scale. High quality model of a human hand. Fine, but I need to make sure you're not just giving me a giant ass hand. I don't know why people don't try to make things to scale. Like, I don't know why people don't do this in 3D more often, of like setting the scale of their object. So like, for example, this mug isn't deciding to be like, you know, 10 meters tall or something like that. It's like, it's 10 centimeters. It's not going to be a crazy ass huge size. File, import, object waveform, hand. Like, come on. Really? Really? Like, that's not a normal hand. That's not to scale. That's a fucking... How big is this hand? Like, fucking... Look at that. Like, it's nearly it's a 50-meter tall hand. It's very important to have weird monkey head. Now, can we have the time... How can they have time to include... Unfortunately, not all 3D programs agree on how to measure scale. Fucking bullshit is what it is. All right, hang on. File, amend. GrantZeebs, GrantZeebs, Rigify, Mesh. Low body. Wrong body. Okay, hang on, I can literally just hold the entire fucking mug in my hand. It's a little baby. It's a little baby cup. Grab. There's Zeebs. And there's my hand. Right, hang on a second. 90. And then... I'm not 9 feet tall. I am not 9 feet. I am I am a, you know, big for a human, 7 feet tall. I'm not one of those hyper furs that are like, oh, you think you're so big? Look at you being a weedy little 6.5 feet tall. I am 50 feet tall. No, fuck that nonsense. I don't, like, I understand you want to be big, but you need to be, like, first off, civil engineering. You don't want to fuck up people when it's like, oh, let me go into a shop. Let me get into an elevator. Let me go on a train. Don't fuck around with being over 7 feet tall. The world is hard enough as it is for people that are like 6'7". Just make it so it's tall in human status. All right, so here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna grab this and we're gonna scale it up from the cursor. Hang on. Mesh, snap, cursor to world origin. There we go. There we go. Just a little bit bigger, like 50% bigger. All right, is that okay? Is that like 50% bigger? That way it's not a huge mug. It's still appropriate. It's not a huge mug, but it's also not like a little baby mug when it's in my hand or something like that. Like I'll be able to get like a finger or two into this thing. But like I can get, because I don't know how you guys do your mug, but the way I normally hold my mug is I have the ring, so I have my index and my pinky outside the hook. I have my middle finger and my ring finger in the hook. That's how I normally do my mug. Like if I don't have a mug on me. This is why I was like grabbing my phone earlier and such. I will be small and happy. Yeah, no, that's fine. You're okay being a short king, okay? There's nothing wrong with being... Kings come in any size, okay? Just look at the Habsburgs. Inbreeded little fucks. Alrighty. Zebra for scale. I'm just gonna have zebra for scale. I should really just have zebra for scale all the time whenever I'm working with these objects. But yeah. There we go. Like, this would hold a thumb, and if I was, you know, if I was squishing my fingers, it would be able to hold, like, the two, like, that's an appropriate size. So, sure, I might fat finger, you know, getting into this thing, but... Alright, Shade, auto smooth.
Go suck a lemon.
You go suck a lemon. Hi there, Blue. Welcome to the stream. I made myself a mug. At first, it was like 10 centimeters tall or something. It was a small mug. I've now brought like my zebra into the thing. Don't worry that he's not got any eyes or teeth. He's not important for that. But I've fixed the scale of the mug now. Weighted normal. There we go. That's a bit better. And there we go. Ooh. Ooh, I got an idea. Hang on a sec. Just to make this spine just a little bit. There we go. 150 vertices isn't a lot, is it? There we go. A mug. The mug needs some whiskey in it. We'll do like that's something else. I might give this to hang on a sec. Dink. What's with my fingers? Why? Do I have stretch marks on my fingers? What the hell? I didn't notice that before. Jesus. Or maybe this is a previous thingamadoogie. Yeah, this might be a previous thingamadoogie because I can see like an error here, which was like back on like this high quality thing. Yep, and then there's this cutoff here. It needs some piping hot. Do not come into me with that blasphemy. You don't need to heat your Gatorade, okay? It is just no. Coke. What it needs is just some nice Coke. Alrighty. But yeah. Mug. And what's more is the mug is to scale, so mug. There we go. UV editing. Smart UV unwrap. Stitch and Vixen, thank you for the follow. I greatly appreciate it. Okay, I don't like this. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. I am going to need to fix some shit up. First and foremost, mark as a seam. Mark as a seam. That should hopefully do the job. Awesome. Cool. Mark as a seam. Mark. The reason I want to mark those as a seam is so then that... The reason I want to mark those two as a seam is so then that way... Warm, salty cucumber gate. No! Oh my gosh, Ghoul. Why did you do this to me? Why? No, I refuse. Alright, unwrap. Thank you for the follow after telling me that you like some warm, salty cucumber Gatorade. The audacity of you, honestly. Alright, you know what? We are going to... We're gonna clear the seam off this. And clear the seam off. Cool, because that makes it flat, which is what we want. Nah, we need that. All right. Darn it. Mark as a seam. There we go. So we need that there. And then that goes in. Mark as a seam. Maybe that's what I need to do. Hey, that's good. All right. yeah, that's the weird half circle nonsense. Ooh. All right, hang on. Back to the linear thingy-majiggy. Clear the seam from here. And from there. There we go. So that gets us that. Why is this one so strange? Steamed fruit punch cranberry. A mug of Arctic chill to wind down at the end of the... No, no. This is a Coca-Cola household. I will not accept artificial fruits in here unless we're gonna go for apple and blackcurrant. Apple and blackcurrant is a great flavor, but if we're gonna be drinking some artificial nonsense, it's gonna be Coke or something from the Coke family. I don't want to hear any of this Pepsi nonsense. Okay, so why is this the weirdy one then?
Go suck a lemon.
You go suck a lemon. Select all link. Based off of... What? Oh. Mark as a seam. Alright, that's a bit better. So we get our 2 circles there. Hang on. I need to get my head straight about something. Mug. And then what's the base mug? Actually, 1024 pixels should be enough. Control T. That way it's based off of the UV. And once again, my hands are broken because of this. Hi there, Solace. Welcome to the stream. I'm making a coffee mug. All right. Ding. Bong. Mug.base. Oh. What I should... Source. UV grid. Color. There we go. Color grid. File, image, save. Mug base. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to fix that. So UV edit. Alright, so what I need to... This will all make sense shortly, what I'm doing. Because what I want to do is I want to orientate... I want to orientate this so that's like properly like, you know, written across. So the way we'll do this is I'll grab all U nonsense, Control L, move you out of the way for a temporary moment, and then grab all U's. Oh my gosh, I got it right on the first go. Excellent. Absolute fantastic. And then I'll put you... I'll put you in the bottom right. I'll give you like a little bit of an island. Where... Cutting edge. Alright, so... So C and D... So top half is center. Oh, no. Wait, should I have it that way around? Yeah, I think I should have it that way around. And then all this stuff. Was that a 90-degree rotation? Yep, that was a 90-degree rotation. Shrink you down just a tiny bit. I don't need that much detail for you guys. And there we go. My nana makes it for ribs. Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce? I'm sorry, what? That's not a thing. You're lying to me, chat. That is not a thing. Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce is not a thing. It's 100% sauce. Give me the source. Sorry, not sauce. Source. I need the source. That's not a like a thing people make. That's not a thing, all right? You're talking out of your ass. Yeah. Alrighty. Alright, that makes the image that we want. Simply recipes. Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce. Something about sandwiches. Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Copy current address. Paste and go. Nope. What? What? No, stop with these advertisements. Oh, what? What? They have it in Walmart as well? What? Oh, you are... What? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. You can't see it, but my hands are just like... Oh, this is just... Oh my god. It was good, but very, this... I feel like this is too much, even for America. This feels too much, even for the United States. This feels... Oh my gosh. Terrible. I hate it. Terrible. Alright, so that's our mug. Image. Is there a way for me to like export the U? Oh wait, no, here it is. UV. Export UV layout. So I can do mug.uv. That way I have this available to me as a reference. I'm not just reliant on like the D thingamadoogs. So what I can do now is Blender files, asset library, textures. So now I can open the mug base with Photoshop. My pronouns are US of and A. And there's just like eagle thingy. Once again, Blender takes so much resources for whatever reason on my Leap Motion. It is absolutely hilarious. All right. And then UV mug goes in like that. Solid color. So we got FF, Fa ha ha ha. Fa 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 ha. All right, so we go here. And we need... So it's this part here that is our text. So what we'll do is... You know what? Where is it? Where is the text? Where are my assets? Twitch background. Alternative. Nope, it's not there. Where is... Here it is. Dink, file, save. Mugbase Photoshop, save. File, quick export as PNG. Where is the blend files, asset library, textures, Mugbase? Yes, I wish to replace it. How accurately? Image, reload. There we go. That's pretty decent scaling, I'd say. That's pretty decent. Oh, I know why it's like it's because I'm using cycles with instead of using the GPU compute. That's why my hands are doing funky things. You missed Sierra Mist? Oh my gosh. There we go. All right, so here's what we are going to do. Turn on the UV again. Because what we're going to do is we're going to... There we go. And then...
Did you see it?
All right, hang on a sec. I am going to... I'm gonna see how quickly I figure that... All right, so... Oh, Jesus. Not that big of a text. Shrink you down. Inside... Cookie for Ghoul! Here's your cookie. Thank you for the head pats, Avalon. Again. Hang on. Lock you down. So that way I'm not just... I'm just... All right, what do you think are the chances that I get this right? What do you think are the chances that I've guessed this orientation on correctly on the first go?
Glug, glub, glug, glub, glug.
Start a prediction. Mug is the right. Grant, set, mug, inside, outside, correct on first try. You got 30-second poll. Here we go. 30-second poll. Get your predictions in. You can do like sort of slash prediction 1 or prediction 2, I believe. I want to know how many people think I got the orientation correct. So the idea is that inside will be written on the inside of the thingy-majiggy. Outside will be written on the outside. We got some people that are confident that yes, I did it on the inside. Alrighty then. You ready, chat? 3, 2, 1. All right. Image. Reload. No! It's the wrong way around. Oh no! Whoever voted, I'm sorry. You're both wrong. You're both wrong. I fucked up. Oh, that's a shame. What a shame. Did I set the inside or outside correctly? No, I didn't. I did not. You're not gonna get your points back. Alrighty. Alrighty. So we need to swap this around to... All right, next thing we need to do is adjust those things. All right, so...
Hello.
Hi there, YY. Welcome to the stream. I am making a mug. Alrighty, so that needs to be white then. And then I need to select the inverse, so then that way I can then go and erase the rest. So then that way we don't have... Oh, hang on. Deselect. Select, grow. Oh. Hang on. Expand. There we go. File. Oop. File. Let's see how this export looks. Quick export as something or other. Mug base. Yes, we wish to replace this. He can consume. No, not hot Coca-Cola. We're not putting hot Gatorade in this thing, okay? Stop saying we're gonna put Gatorade in here. It ain't happening, chat. Alrighty, so... yeah, I need to get rid of this circle here. Why is... hang on. Yeah, I should have just... hang on a second. Alright, this is probably gonna fuck things over, but... maybe if I... I'm gonna lock these down. So, pin... UV... unwrap... select... so I invert my selection... there we go. That way. Yeah, it wants, so that's where inside would be. Hmm. So where is this? Oh, okay, so it's all that. Yeah, no, that should remain as the, actually, you know what? Sorry, let me just move you out to here. Move you out to here. This should really be a, oh, probably not that big. Song request. Oh, you're gonna... oh, it's too long, sorry. I was wondering what was going on there. Alright, and then this is the inside, which we're gonna put just a little bit bigger. We're gonna put here. And then... because that will no doubt be the... yep, that's the inside. So then... actually, I can keep it that big. And then grabbing you, grab you. We're allowed? Yeah, you're allowed. It's been pinned. It's been pinned in the chat. This is why you're hearing only all the lo-fi stuff and it goes on for like every 40 minutes. You are able to make song requests. All right, that cuts it a little bit close, but that's fine, actually. Oh, look at that packing. Look at that packing. Fucking baller. I want that to be orientated so then that way, like, if you're like, the mug is like looking appropriately. All right, and then... There we go. That way it's like, you know, center is away from the mug, is like away from the handle, and then these two things are orientated based off of the handle. It's your bad, you can't read? No, that's all right. It is A-okay. All right. Can I make you bigger? And then I can probably rotate you around so then that way you're not so much in the way. And then... There we go. All right, UV. Export UV layout. Textures. Mug UV. Save this. Because now... ding. Is there a way for me to reload that thing? Create, rasterize, replace... relink to file. Oh, cancel. Is there a way for me to... There we go. So now we've got that. So now using that, we can instead, using the erasure. God, I have this mouse that I like, has like a little scroll wheel. It's so good. All right.
Save. Grant. Save.
Saved. Are you streaming via wireless? No, I just have like a lot of resources running off of the PC. It should be streaming via a wired connection and what have you. All right. Okay, so now... Oh no, I have a better design idea. All right, here we go. So black will own. Here's what's gonna happen. All right, so we're gonna add in this thingamajiggy, and so yeah, so black will be on the inside like so. So we got a nice little strip here, and then it's gonna be white on the edges instead. Just need to be very careful not to, you know, go into... I didn't really give myself too much of an island on these things. But that's fine. All right, and then I can then go and... All right, I need to lock this thing again. And then on... So this is the inside. And then this is the outside. Hide that. File, export, quick export as PNG. Mug base PNG, save and replace. Thank you very much. Save. And then image, reload. Hey, look at that. Isn't that awesome? And look at this, look at this, look at this. And because you got like this nice little like dark on the inside nonsense, and then it's just white on the outside. Oh, that is fucking cool. All right. Zebra for... All right. Yeah. Whoop. I should probably actually, you know, all right. You know what? Hang on. Actually, no, rather than... Okay, here's what I should do. Get rid of that one. And then I should go to the source of my, whatsamahoozy, of the file that I got for that. Oh, this is some good stuff. Where's the role-playing folder? There it is. Roleplay, characters, Grant... And it was done by... No, it wasn't Kogi, it wasn't Joy. Right, there he is, Ritz. Ritz shirt design. Actually, you know what? Let's go with the full size one. That way I can scale it down to what I need it to be. You was streaming GTA 5 and your FPS decreased from 60 to 20 when your Wi-Fi sticks were 2 instead of 5. Oh. None of that makes sense to me, sorry. And then shrink you down. So then that way... Save, file, quick export as PNG. Save, replace. And then image, reload. Now it's too big. I need to shrink that. Actually, I can have this pointed to something else. Hang on, shading, open. I can have it pointed to the PNG file. So then that way, anytime I save it, it's instead, maybe it doesn't like the PNG actually. File, export, quick export as PNG. It's getting late. I think you're going to turn in. Good luck getting mugged. Not to worry, Morse. It's getting late for me as well. I might hit the hay shortly once I do like a fun render or two. PNG. There we go. That's a little bit better. Duh. All right. Render image. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, it looks all right. Looks okay. Times by 4. Render image. Let's do this again. No. All right. Doesn't make it any better. Divided by 4. Film transparent. Render image. There we go. It's 5:30 a.m. I reckon I'm gonna end it here. So I've got what I wanted, and I just now need to wait for this to render, and I will most likely export this mug and such like that. So file, save as, Blender renders. So this month I have done a himbo. I've done a himbo mug, save, and I've done a metal pipe. This is where I spent a majority of my time on stream, is making these inanimate objects. All right. You don't need to see all this. We can go into the chat room. I will be back online Friday night. I will be going through more. I'm going to be going through Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition. I'm going to go on like an easy difficulty or something. So then that way I have the chance to try and get like Baldur's Gate 1 and Baldur's Gate 2. I'm going to see if I can get them done on like easy difficulty and such. Get that under my belt before I try going into Baldur's Gate 3. Get a feel for a combat system that's like, you know, that turn-based nonsense, and hopefully that will do all right for me. And hang on a sec. Metal pipe. Save. Hopefully it'll work out right for me. In a few moments, however, if you'll rest with me as we go and raid into someone. All right, it looks like Kofu is playing a little bit of Dragon Age Inquisition. I very much want to see how they're doing there. Plus, they'll appreciate that I made a mug and shit, so We're gonna go raid into that dog Kofu. There they are. Start a raid. And our raid message is, have you found coal yet? Have you... That is going to be our raid message. I hope you'll join with me as we go and raid into that dog Kofu as they go through Dragon Age Inquisition. I like Dragon Age. I'm probably going to go through Dragon Age again, but this time on stream at some point in the future, just to get that nostalgia feels. But that's for another time in the future. You will find me online again Friday night. Otherwise, I want to say thank you everyone who came along to tonight's stream for the art channel. I greatly appreciate it.
Hendrix
Thank you for the sub,
16-month
Hendrix.
tier 1
Sorry
sub.
we're going away shortly.
Good night.
Good night. Bye for now.